about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Cheers! Happy New Year's Eve. At the recording of this video, it is New Year's Eve, so I should say Happy New Year because I'm sure by the time that this is up, it will be New Year's. But Happy New Year's. I'm starting with my first glass of Cabernet Sauvignon just to kick off 2019, say goodbye to 2018. I don't know about you, I don't know what it is, but at this time of year, the last day of the year, I'm always nostalgic for everything that had happened, and I do a lot of reflecting, and I see kind of like where I had started and where I just ended up at the end of the year, like how much I accomplished. So it's kind of fun, and in a sense it's kind of bittersweet. So, you know, I wanted to come on here, I wanted to share with you my New Year's resolutions, some tips on what you guys can do for yours. I know some people are on the fence about them, some people hate them, some people love them, some people just don't really give a rat's you know what. But for me, I'm a planner. I love to make lists, I love to make goals, I love to have things that I can check off and say, you know what, I did that, I accomplished it. And so that's what New Year's resolutions are for me. It's for me to better myself. It's for me to develop my character, develop my profession, my health. I mean, it just gives me something to focus on and something to achieve, something to work towards. So that's what New Year's resolutions mean for me, and I wanted to get right into it and share with you guys what it is that I have set up for me and some ways, my own tips of what I do to set up my resolutions. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to start with is just my quick tips. I have 3. And so the first one is make your resolutions attainable and measurable. Basically, I'm just gonna start calling them goals because that's basically what resolutions start ending up being, is just goals. Make them measurable and attainable. So what I mean by that is that you wanna make sure that your goals are gonna be something that aren't gonna be so far-fetched that you're gonna get discouraged. And if you do have a big goal, that's awesome. I'm not saying don't have big goals and strive for big things. No, what I mean is if you have a big goal, set smaller goals, bite-sized goals that are gonna start nicking away, that are gonna start chomping away at that bigger goal to get there. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by making them attainable. If you have this great big goal, maybe it's a couple years, you know, say like for me personally, I want to be a physical therapist. That's years. I mean, we're talking, you know, 6-7 years for me personally. I'm not going to become a physical therapist by the end of 2019. That's just unattainable. But what is attainable is the fact that I can go back to school, I can take the classes that I need to take that starts chipping away at getting to that point. That's what I mean by attainable. You don't want to set yourself up for discouragement, so definitely stay away from that. That's why a lot of New Year's resolutions fail. And then also make them measurable. You want to be able to see from where you started to where you're ending, or even in your middle ground, how far you are from reaching that end goal. So make them measurable. You want to be able to track your progress because you're going to see how far you've come. Sometimes when we're neck deep in a goal trying to get to somewhere, it seems like we're just spinning our wheels. But if we track it, if we can measure it, we can actually see that we have come a lot further than we think. Tip number 2. Base your resolutions off of your own personal best and not somebody else's. I've seen it time and time again where somebody is at a different level than, like, say you are professionally, right? And they compare where they're at to where this other person is, and they get extremely discouraged, and it's not their own goal, it's not their own journey. So they're basically comparing where they're at to where somebody else is at, and maybe that somebody else started way earlier than they did, or maybe they worked at it harder and put more hours in than you did, or this other person did. So I don't like to base my goals or my resolutions off of what anybody else is doing. I like to base them off of what I'm doing. I basically will look at myself and look at what I've done over the past year, and I try to beat that. I try to beat my personal best. The last tip number 3, is write them down. that kind of goes hand in hand with make them measurable. You want to be able to track where you've been, where you're going. You want to be able to, in a moment's notice, pull that list out of your goals and resolutions. Remind yourself what it is you're trying to achieve. Write them down, write them down, write them down. And I mean that. I mean, put them everywhere. I tell the girls Fit Friends Boot Camp, make a list, put it on your mirror when you first wake up to brush your teeth so that you can see them. Put it on your phone. Make a screensaver with your list of your resolutions to remind you every time you look at your phone, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm going for, this is what I'm trying to achieve. You need constant reminders. You know, a lot of times emotions kind of dictate what we do, and emotions can be fleeting. I feel like when you have constant reminders of why you're starting this, what you're doing, and where you're going, it's easier to stay on track, and it's easier to remind yourself why you're doing this. So write them down.
How can I tell you what
Okay, so for my resolutions this year, I have a total of 5, and I've broken them down between lifestyle, health, and profession. My first resolution is to step out of my comfort zone and push past the fears that have been holding me back from achieving my goals and my dreams. Now, I don't know what my deal is, and it has been for the past couple of years. Well, if I'm being honest, it's been my whole life. But it's one of those things where I let my fears just kind of dictate what I do, and I've allowed them to hold me back for so long. And you know, it's just something that, whether it's self-confidence or whether it's just I'm not believing in myself enough, I don't put myself out there enough. And a lot of it is fear-based, a lot of it is worrying about what other people would think. Even as much as I want to act like I don't care what other people think or whatnot, I still do. You know, it's still kind of something that's deeply rooted. And so one of my biggest things is a lifestyle change more than anything, because it's a mindset change, and that is just stepping out of my comfort zone. And when a fear pops up, not necessarily discounting the fact that it's a fear, but just pushing past it. You know what I mean? Like, all these things that I think of inside my head, a lot of these fears are really invalid, and a lot of these fears are things that I've made up in my own mind that aren't even a reality. And so I've allowed these falsities, I guess, to hold me back. When you think about it, actually, it's really sad that it's holding me back, and it's not just me. I know there's a lot of other people that can relate to this. It just allows you to hold you back from achieving so much more than you are or that you could, and that's kind of where I'm at on that. So 2019 is going to definitely be a year of stepping out of my comfort zone and just pushing past those fears. Actually, I've already started for 2018 for 2019, which was opening up this YouTube channel. So it has been something that I have been wanting to do for years. I mean, 3 years minimum I've been wanting to do this YouTube channel. And I was always so fearful of not only putting myself out there, but seeing myself on camera talking. I would always pick myself apart, and I hated that. You know, I would sit here and just pick everything about myself apart. And like I said, a lot of it has to do with getting into a mental state. And so I think that just the past couple of years, I've done a lot on personal development, on fixing my mindset, on changing things. I've gotten a little bit more comfortable on camera, and that's kind of what I'm talking about as far as pushing past the comfort zone, pushing past the fears that I have just blown up in my mind. That for 2019 is going to be one of my biggest lifestyle changes yet. So resolution number 2 is to make the best use of my time and to eliminate distractions. This falls right in line with the next lifestyle resolution that I've created, the next category. That is to just make the best use of my time. I find that I can be easily distracted. And I think that is just a problem with society nowadays anyways. I mean, just social media in general. So, I mean, that is a big distraction for me. I try all these different projects and all these different things, and I don't finish so many projects. Like, I have so many unfinished things begging to be done. That is going to be one of my biggest things for this resolution, is to just eliminate those distractions that are keeping me from finishing all these projects that are keeping me from doing the things that I want to do and keeping me from the goals that I want to achieve. That's why I think it's so important to write down your goals or your resolutions, because it's going to keep you on track, and it's going to remind you and show you why you started this. It's going to remind you what you're doing. It's going to remind you that you have goals and you have dreams and you are worth achieving them. So for my third resolution, it's kind of a two-part resolution. I just put it in one because it was just easier that way. And so for this category, it has to do with health. And the first thing is to get into the best shape of my life. I used to play water polo and I was a swimmer back in high school. And that was like the best shape I had ever been in. I want to get better than that. You know, I want to achieve better than that. And not for anybody else, not for pictures or anything like that. No, I want to do it personally as a personal goal for myself. I want to see what I'm capable of getting back to that point. And so that's something that is a big goal for me. You know, it's something I've always said as I want to do is just get into the best shape of my life as I possibly could. The second part of that is dealing with Hashimoto's, with dealing with alopecia. I work closely with my doctor and I do get lab work done. So on my next lab results, I want to have like just stellar results. I want to have really good results on my next lab work. I'm gonna say that there's not gonna be things that I have to improve on those next lab results, but I want to be so far ahead from where I was on my last lab work, if that makes sense. So really highly involved. I feel like this stuff is so highly involved. There's so much that goes into it. So many, you know, between diet and lifestyle and supplements and all sorts of things that go into this. It's something that I will document as I move forward for you guys to see, and I will take you along that journey. Yeah, it's very highly involved on this one. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm actually excited about my third resolution. My fourth resolution, fourth and the fifth, they're both professional resolutions, to finish out my certifications with NASM and to work with a reputable gym. So the two certs I'm actually working for right now, I've already got my certified personal trainer certification done. I am focusing now on my fitness nutrition certification and my corrective exercise certification. So I want to finish those out before March. That's the plan. And then I want to start working with a great gym just to get some hands-on experience inside of a gym setting. Now, you guys know how much I love my home workouts. I love them like you would not believe. I used to be a gym rat. I used to love going to the gym. I could spend 2-3 hours in a gym and even blink an eye. But the home workouts is where I was able to find this passion in health and fitness and find this passion in fixing my autoimmunity, or at least managing it, was doing home workouts. When I got really sick, I could not lift a finger to even go to the gym. And so having these home workouts for me was a godsend, because I was able to get active and get moving when I was feeling good enough to do it. Home workouts for me will always have a special place in my heart, and it will be something that I always do, even if I did work in a gym. However, being with the fact that I want to pursue being a physical therapist, working in a gym setting is going to give me the best hands-on experience. First hands-on experience, seeing how people move and see, you know, misalignments and stuff like that. So it's going to let me see more of the human movement with hands-on experience working inside of a gym. So that's my goal there for 2019 on that one. So there you have it, guys. Those are my resolutions for 2019. They're extensive, they are attainable, and they are definitely going to be written down. I actually have them written down right here, but they're gonna be written down better because it's just like chicken scratch. But let me know what your guys' resolutions are. Let me know what it is that you want to achieve for 2019. Let me know what it is that is important to you, because that's really what resolutions are things that are important to you and the things that you want to achieve. And just remember that there is no goal, there is no dream that is so far out of reach that you cannot achieve it. You are so worth those dreams and goals. So just remember that. Leave me comments below. Let me know, what it is that you guys have planned for 2019. I love to hear them. Let's make these goals and these dreams for 2019 happen. What do you say? All right, guys. Happy New Year and cheers.